Delhi Capitals has just one chance left in IPL 2020. They made a mess of the first qualifier against the mighty Mumbai Indians, and it was very disheartening to watch as a Delhi Capital fan and see how badly they were off the mark. I just feel that somewhere along the line, Captain Shreyas Iyer has to take some tougher calls for DC, and there is only one opportunity left. Everything else is over. They have just one more match left to make it to the final of the IPL 2020. Can they do it is the question. I'll take you through a couple of points, and more or less it'll be very clear as to what needs to be done, where they are missing out, and what could be the way forward. So one of the things that is bothering them is the weak opening batsman that they have, except for Shikhar Dhawan, who has been playing consistently well, except for a few oddball misses. They have the others have not been able to pull their weight, and one of the prime failures has been that of young Prithvi Shaw. He is undoubtedly a very talented batsman. I saw one of the matches where he got bowled, but before that, there were a couple of shots all along the ground, beautiful shots, classic shots. And then you realize what kind of talent this boy has. He is a terrific talent. He needs to, somewhere along the line, focus on the fact that, like Brian Lara said, that when you come in, take a few deliveries, suss out the pitch, and then take a call on what you have to do. And this is coming from Brian Lara, one of the most aggressive batsmen of his time, and with a terrific strike rate. The problem with Prithvi is he's going in for the pull shots again and again way too early and making a bit of a mess there. He should have consulted Ricky Ponting. I'm sure they've had a chat, but somewhere along the line, those shots getting miscued, getting caught in the deep, this has been happening repeatedly, and that's not a very good thing. When we are also go on to the next point, which is Ajinkya Rahane. Ajinkya has lent stability. He is a classic test level batsman, and in this format, although he's been left out by Team India repeatedly, but I feel he brings in a certain stability. If his side is in trouble, then he's the perfect guy to step in. Around him, the team can bat aggressively, but there's one point that he probably misses out on, which is that he needs to change gears faster. And in a pressure situation, that is something Ajinkya has to do repeatedly, and this is something that he needs to basically figure out. When we are talking about that match against MI, what a mess DC made. If you look at their first 4 wickets, they were down for not even 20 runs on the board. 3 batsmen out for a duck. It was 0 for 3 in 8 balls. Shreyas Iyer has come in, and he's come in and done some pretty good batting for DC in the earlier matches, but off late he's been a bit tepid. He needs to, just that, as I'm repeatedly saying, just that one match is left and time is running out for them. So somewhere along the line, the captain has to lead from the front and show more intent, which he's not been able to do so far, and gets out pretty early. Rishabh Pant, I have spoken quite a bit on Rishabh Pant in some of my takes earlier. I'm a fan of Rishabh. I really wish this young man goes from strength to strength. He's an audacious talent. When he's on song as a batsman, it is a dream to watch him. It is so delightful. There's no fear. There is so much of intent. There's something fantastic about him. I mean, he's one of those classic guys you would pay to watch. But off late, as we all know, and we've discussed this quite a few times, he has somewhat lagged behind. He's fallen by the wayside, put on weight. He needs to shed all of that, and that slog sweep of his, which is getting him into trouble repeatedly, where he goes on the 4th or the 5th stump and tries to slog the ball. That is something that he needs to worry about. That shot selection is again a problem which Rishabh needs to figure out. His wicket keeping has been improving, and from some of the messes that he had made earlier, but that DRS call is something he needs to worry about, because the captain would depend on him, and the wicketkeeper's vision is the best. That is where he has to learn from the great Dhoni as to when to make that right DRS call. So That leaves Marcus Stoinis and Aksar Patel to bail them out at different points in time. They've done a pretty good job so far. Even against MI, it is they who took them to a respectable total of 150 plus. Stoinis is a very fine all-rounder. Aksar Patel is again a very good all-rounder. They can bat very well, but to leave too much of the heavy hitting on them is a tad unfair. And as they were exposed against a very tough MI bowling attack, things fell apart. They need a little bit of support from the top, and they need to come in at the right time to push through. But they're both good. The bowlers, Ravi Ashwin, Rabada and Nortje, all three world-class bowlers. It's a very good idea to open with Ashwin. The man has a lot of guile. He's developed a lot of deception. He has a point to prove, which shows in his body language, particularly when he got Virat Kohli out in one of the matches earlier, and that wild celebration that followed. We all got the drift. Rabada and Nortje, they need to bowl at the death. If you shuffle them around a bit before that, and so that creates some problems. Of course, there was a bit of a criticism that Shreyas should have bowled Rabada and Nortje even earlier when they were on song, when they were pegging the MI batsmen back, but that did not happen. In the death overs, they were taken apart. There is a very interesting observation that I saw at the nets when Shane Warne was advising some of the bowlers earlier. He was the mentor there for Rajasthan Royals. And he advised one of the bowlers saying that don't try and bowl too many balls as Yorkers during the death overs, because even if you miss by a few centimeters, just that bit, the batsman will take you apart. You'll go for a 4 or a 6, and that is repeatedly happening to some of the fast bowlers. So what do they need to do? Just a little, back of a length, so which is one option. The second is bowl those wideish Yorkers, which is again a bit dicey because you can go for a wide. And there are very few bowlers in world cricket like a Malinga or like a Bumrah who can bowl those Yorkers on the spot repeatedly on any given day. And even in the final over, the way Malinga has bowled, so has Bumrah. It's a classic lesson. But for many other bowlers, maybe that the length and line, that line adjustment is very, very important, where a captain and a coach should come in and talk to these guys and basically figure out quickly. Like I said, and I'm saying it repeatedly, just one match left. So, which leaves the fact that they're actually missing Ishant, they are missing Amit Mishra, both due to injury. So that's a bad one. Ponting is a wonderful coach. He's a classy batsman. He is one of those guys who not only has had a great playing career, but and one of the best pullers in the business in his time. Some of the videos that were released, he's one of those guys who likes to be one with the boys, gives a lot of positive feedback, backs them in times of trouble, does not take too much of rubbish from anybody, pushes them at the right point in time. They have massive respect for Ponting. He needs to play a much larger role for DC, not only in this IPL, but in the coming editions, where the team formation and balance is concerned. But to go back, Captain Shreyas Iyer needs to put his hand up, needs to take some tough calls. If he has to shuffle his team for one last time, let him take some audacious risks, because this is the only chance that they will have. DC fans will be watching. I'm a DC fan, and I had taken a wager with a friend before the IPL started that it will be a MI versus DC final. Will it be? We'll have to wait and watch.